All right, today I'm going to get a driver fit in with Devon at Club Champion. And Devon is going to help me understand my swing data and help me understand what kind of corrections I need to make equipment-wise that will help me improve that swing data. So I'm just going to start off and warm up, hit a few shots with this driver. It's a Senior Flex 12-degree ping driver. And my club head speed is right around 80 miles per hour. Distance wise, 180, which on that shot it was. I feel I should be able to get a lot more out of my drivers. So Devon is going to help us understand how the technology will help me do that. Okay, one more.
One more good one.
One more good one. Let's start with a good one. Nope, let's do one more. Definitely consistent flight. Okay.
Last one's a lot better. Okay, so firstly, I would look at our dispersion map, right?
Okay.
So I go right here and say, hey, Sue, a lot of those seem to be going to the left, right? So from an equipment perspective, for me, that tells me maybe we're in too soft of a shaft for you.
Okay.
Right? Because if the soft is, of the tip section is a little too soft for a swing, what can happen is it can load too quick for you and snap close, and then the club face goes left. So when I see you come through, we have a good attack angle, and our face angle is pretty good too, but hey, all of a sudden, balls are headed left for some reason. That tells me as a fitter, hey, maybe we're in too soft a shaft.
Okay.
So initially here, that's the number one thought for equipment is, hey, maybe a little firmer into that shaft for you.
So that would be our starting point.
Yes, that would be a starting point. And then I'll kind of walk through our baseline numbers, right? And we're doing a lot good, right? We're putting a good move on the golf ball, especially here. I focus on our attack angle, right? Hitting up on it 4.3, that's where I like to see, right? Swinging at about 80, ball speed's about 108, and smash factor is 138. So legal limit for smash factor 150. So we have a little bit of room for improvement. 138 again. That's shaft again. That's in my head saying, hey, there's something wrong with that shaft where we could be making better contact. Right? Positives is, again, we're putting a good move on it at 4.3 up, and our spin number's low, 2,300. So commonly I see people come in here, and the spin numbers are 4,000, 5,000. That destroys distance. For you, that's not the problem. Really, it's contact. So the number one thing is getting a better shaft in it.
Okay, okay, great. Let's see what happens when I do that.
Let's change the shaft around.
So broadly, you're going up to like a regular?
Yes. Yeah. So this is a regular. Next graph. We're going up to 50 grams. That first one was 45, so pretty light and pretty soft, right? It's categorized as an R2, which is just under regular.
Okay.
So what I'm doing now is moving you into a regular. Still has a pretty soft tip section. I want to get enough height on the golf ball, but I want it to be firmer than where we started at. Okay.
All right.
So same head, just a little bit firmer of the shaft.
So it's going to feel a little heavier too.
Just a touch, only 5 grams.
It did feel better. Now some of this hook is me, obviously. Path is terrible, which is one reason why it's hooking.
That one was a little bit better. So on that last one, we got the 142 smash, so it's up a little bit, right? But our spin rate is still really low.
Okay.
So that tells me, hey, especially when I see these balls going left consistently, that softer tip section in our shaft allows for that ball to rise a little bit easier, but I always have to mediate that with the ability for it to snap close. So
Okay.
I think I still need to go a little bit firmer for you. And you can feel that being a little bit firmer in your hands compared to the first one, not quite as wet noodly.
And it feeling a bit heavier helped as well.
Okay,
I think.
so like a little bit more weight. Okay, so next one, C6 Blue from Mitsubishi. This one is a similar weight category than the one I just gave you. It's just a little firmer in the tip section.
Oh, that feels much better.
Came up a good amount there.
Yeah, that felt so much better.
Ball speed.
Heel.
Yeah. Probably, well, maybe heel, but your spin rates are still really low, so it's telling me probably centered face.
Okay,
really
good. That didn't feel quite as good. Yeah, lower smash factor.
Yeah. All right, give me one more. We're on the right path here. Okay, much better. 140 and almost our best carry too.
So when you get in the right, so we're kind of narrowing it down, getting a stiffer shaft, then what do you start looking at?
So once I get that smash factor going up in the right direction and we find things that we like, then we switch to our head.
Okay.
Right? So most of this golf club is the shaft. That's the most important part, right? I would take the right shaft on the wrong head any day of the week. So that's where I spend a lot of my time. And then the head, I always say, is the fine adjustment. Because everyone makes a good head. Ping makes a good head, TaylorMade, doesn't matter who you buy it from. Really, it matters is we're making centered contact, and then it's all dependent on the golfer.
Okay.
So we go that direction.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
What are you thinking, head-wise?
For me, I like that we need a little bit more spin on the golf ball.
Yeah.
Ping's a really good place to start from.
Okay.
And I want to keep us in that loft category as well. But I think we're going to move on.
So that launch angle is, if you got, launch angle 17, is that,
Yes.
is that about right?
Angle,
That is a high launch
It's
angle.
a high launch angle, but you don't have any spin on the golf ball.
Yeah.
So the higher you launch the ball, if we still have 2100 spin, 2400 spin, that's fine, right? That's the Rory McIlroy high dead golf ball.
Okay.
That's fine with me because if you look at our peak heights, right, our peak heights are still in the 50s. So I want to get this number as close as I can to a club head speed number.
Okay.
Right? Not everyone's going to get there, but that's the ideal fitter's goal.
Okay.
If I can match those two numbers up, the apex of the golf ball should be the club head speed.
Okay.
Right? So I want to maintain the high peak apex height, right? But also we can spin.
So if I had more spin, you wouldn't want to see that much launch. We're trying to get the launch down.
They work in concert
Okay.
with each other. The higher you launch the ball, the lower I want people to spin it, and vice versa. Because spin on the golf ball makes the ball rise, right? So if you get a high ball and a spinning ball, you're sacrificing a lot of difference
Yeah.
distance because a lot of energy is going up and it's not going forward. So it's always managing those two to make sure we're in a good place.
And is there a rule of thumb for spin?
So generally, we like to see spin for a driver in the 2000s.
Okay.
Ideal is 12 to 14 launch with 2200, 2300 spin.
Okay.
That's where they test it, like the USGA when they do the ball testing, and they're doing it now to roll the ball back. They test it at 120 miles an hour, launching at 14, and spinning at about 2400.
Okay.
That's the ideal launch conditions for a golf.
Okay.
Everyone's going to be different, right? Not everyone's swinging at 120. Everyone needs a little bit different. So for you, we're swinging it at 80. So I don't mind some more launch angle if that's going to get us a higher peak apex height as long as spin's down.
Okay.
So it's kind of all three of those working in concert.
Yeah, I'm not swinging at 120 today.
Not yet. Usually get in the gym and start working out. LE head, so lighter head,
Okay.
compared to where we are the G430. Usually going to launch a little higher and spin a little bit more, but for you, that's fine.
Right, thank you.
Yep.
That was user error.
Really good there. Awesome.
Yeah, that one felt good.
And you notice that peak height coming up, right? We're at 65 feet of peak height.
Mm,
So that
yeah.
carry number really starts to increase as well. Another really good one. Awesome. Give me one more.
Oh, how about one more?
Still a pretty darn good shot.
Here we play.
Okay. A lot prettier ball flight overall.
Yeah.
Okay. There's going to be deviation between all of them, but the cool thing is the shaft is working for us a lot better now. Right?
Yep.
So this last one, right, we started at 138 with that 108 ball speed. Now we're up to 113, 112 with that same shaft, and we're at 145 smash factor now. The legal limit being 150.
Yeah.
So that means same amount of effort, better ball speed, right? With that, we're going to get a lot better peak height. With that head, now we're at 65 feet, coming from 47, so we're almost 20 feet higher into the air. Apex is getting a lot higher, right? Which leads us to 170 in carry, coming from 148 in carry.
That's
so
20 yards difference.
20 yards difference in carry
Yeah.
number, and that's the number I look at in here
Yeah.
compared to that, because carry goes anywhere. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're playing in Scotland or if you're playing here in Wisconsin where it's wet.
Yeah.
Right, 20 yards of carry, 20 yards of carry. So that's a lot better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Devin, thank you very much. That was the fastest 20 yards I've ever gained. It's just really interesting to understand what technology can do to your ball flight, and from an instructor perspective, then I'm just amazed at how, smash factor I always thought was something that was kind of in the instructor's role, and It's been fascinating to see my students get fit and just see that smash factor change. So really interesting stuff, so thank you very much.
Absolutely, you're very welcome, Sue.